like to welcome to the show Pythia, the stage name of Christos Darlasis, drag performer που τον είδαμε τώρα στο Canada's Drag Race, who killed it with the outfits. Hello, Pythia μου, καλώς ήρθες στο Doralicious Show.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me.
How are you doing? First of all, you're stunning, gorgeous. Oh my God, you're such a goddess, Greek goddess.
Yes, that's exactly what I wanted to give today. Thank you so much.
Και ταιριάζουμε with our hair.
Right, yeah, we match. It's gorgeous. I love it.
Λοιπόν, πάμε γρήγορα στα βαθιά. Pythia, high priestess of Apollo. She was known for her oracles. So why did you choose the name for yourself?
Yeah, well, I really wanted to represent something that's so deep in my culture. And I chose Pythia because she was such a highly respectable woman of her time. In the ancient times, she had so much political power in the ancient times. And also she was graced by the god of the arts, Apollo. So I was like, hey, I'm a theater person. I'm in the arts. I want a very powerful Greek feminine figure to sort of like base myself off of. So I was like, yeah, let's just go with that. And it's a little mystical, a little magical, a little more,
So how long have you been Pythia?
I have been Pythia and I have been doing drag for about 6 years or 7 years now. So yeah.
I love, and you know what I love about you? You break free of gender stereotypes.
Of course.
Like, I love your Instagram. Sometimes you can be hairy wearing like a gown or something like that. And Judith Butler, one of my favorite feminist commentators, right? She talks about gender being a performative act. Nobody can be a gender before doing gendered acts. How do you embody that through your work and your art?
Yeah, no, that's literally love Judith's work as well. And that's exactly it. Basically, like drag is sort of like a commentary on gender, because if you really think about it, if you come to think about it, like gender is sort of fake. It's sort of like a human construct that people have created in order for people to follow certain rules. And that's totally okay. Like the binary exists for a certain reason and it's worked for a while, but it's sort of like a commentary on that you can be whatever you want, because think about it biologically. A woman is not makeup and hips and heels and hair, right? Like no one says that biologically a woman has to have all those things. So I find it fascinating how humans attribute all these symbols to a certain gender. And I feel like drag just takes that and blows it up and just kind of makes a caricature of itself. So yeah.
I love it. And exaggerate and beautiful. And you just break free.
Exactly. It's about like just owning it, the femininity and the power.
Και να πούμε ότι this whole idea of the drag shows, it was an ancient thing. We've had it around for thousands and thousands of years.
Exactly. We did it first. Με τα θέατρα, στο αρχαίο θέατρο.
Έτσι. Κορίτσι μου, ξέρουμε τι κάνουμε γι' αυτό.
Right, there we go.
Let's go. How is the drag show, scene in Montreal? Because you're based in Montreal now.
Yes, yeah. The drag scene is amazing here. It's very sort of European in a way. It's very kind of like close to home, if I can say that. But basically, it's very sort of like theatrical and campy. It's very over the top. When you come to a show here in Montreal, like you will sit down and you will watch performers throughout the night, just put on entire theatrical shows for you. It's not just about putting on a bodysuit and just twirling your hair around and just to Lady Gaga or Beyonce, which is totally fine as well. But I feel like we put a theater show here, and I think that's what I love about it.
Ξέρεις τι μου θύμισες τώρα? Burlesque and Cher.
Yes, it's very that. Picture that. A little less glamorous without Cher and Christina Aguilera, but still quite as fun.
I love it. Λοιπόν, πάμε σε διαλυματάκι. We'll be back. When we come back, I want you to answer one main question, and it's on my mind. Being Greek and in the industry, what were some of those challenges? So stay tuned. Εδώ στο Doralicious Show. Και επιστρέψαμε εδώ στο Doralicious Show with Pythia, our drag queen from Canada's Drag Race. And I have to ask, as I said earlier, being Greek and a drag queen, what were some of the challenges that you faced?
Yeah, oh my gosh. There has been quite a few, ups and downs. Obviously, I come from Argos. I was born and raised in Greece, right? So my family is very much, your typical Greek household, religious, this and that. So in the beginning, it was kind of like confusing for my parents. They were like, what's going on with you? Like, do you want to be a woman? Did something happen in your childhood? What is going on? Like, why are you like this? And to be fair, nothing happened. It's just, if you think about it, this is just an art form. It's theater. Like
Mhm.
what I do also in my human life outside of Pythia, when I'm dressed up, I work in theater and film as a costume designer, set designer. I do hair, makeup, all that. So to me, basically getting to dress up as Pythia is, it's just like a front. It's like I'm being a pop star for a night. I put on the hair, the makeup. I can be Lady Gaga for a night in a way. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's all a front. It's all theater. It's art. There's nothing weird. There's nothing sexual. There's nothing decrepit about this. Like it's just art. It's theater. It's performance.
So how long did it take you to get to this stage to be so comfortable with it? Because I can imagine in the beginning it was a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, it's true. It's I spoke about it on the show a little as well, but basically, I thought initially that there was also something wrong with me. I was like, well, maybe clearly, if all these people are seeing something strange, then maybe there is something wrong with me. But really, there isn't, because I really found a community of people, whether they're queer or not, that just accepted me for exactly who I am, and it's just about like y- we're just like everybody else, right? Like queer people, drag queens, anybody. You know what I mean? It's like we belong in this world just the same. We were created by God in the exact same way. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah, I don't know. At one point, I just stopped caring. I was like, I have to put myself first, and I have to put my mental health and my power to the forefront. And that's just it. I just live unapologetically now, and I'm just happy doing my work and my art and being quite successful in it. I must say so. So yes,
Should we need to celebrate it?
of
Celebrate the
course.
success. If you think about it, you're a minority. Growing up in Canada, you came here as a teenager and you broke free. You did
Of
exactly what
course.
you did. Και ξέρεις τι είναι επίσης πολύ σημαντικό? Representation. Think about
Of
you growing up and you didn't have that representation on
course.
mainstream media.
No, and that's literally the power of art for me. And drag is, like I feel like a lot of my femininity as a child was stripped away from me because I couldn't play with the dolls that I wanted, and I couldn't talk to, my female friends because, it was deemed as weird for a little boy to be.
Tohori.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
I feel
pala.
like exactly, yeah, yeah. And through drag, I feel like I'm sort of reclaiming back that femininity that was stripped away from me as a child. And all these characters and all this flamboyancy and all this like magic, it's exactly what I was looking up to. It was all these like powerful feminine figures that I would look up to in like cartoons and video games, and you know what I mean. So now it's just like it's sort of like a way for me to claim it and give back. And like you
Absolutely.
said, like there's been so many queer Greek people from Greece and all over the world that have been messaging me since the show, being like, "Oh my god, I never thought I would see us on TV like that." And honestly, it's like it's a gift, and I'm very happy and blessed to be able to represent that.
That's very, very empowering. Λοιπόν, πάμε σε άλλο ένα τηληματάκι και θέλω να μου πεις λίγο για το show. How was the show? How was the experience? And all of that. So, αγαπημένοι μου ακροατές, stay tuned here with Pythia. Λοιπόν, Pythia μου, Canada's
Yes.
Drag Race. How come you applied? Like, τι σε όθησε να πάρεις μέρος?
Yeah. I don't know. I felt like I really wanted to challenge myself and push myself beyond what I have been so comfortable with. And I just wanted to share my story into the wider lens of the world, because Drag Race gives you such a big platform to represent your art, but also your story. And I feel like never in the franchise before had there been like a queer Greek person. And I really just wanted to be this sort of um, representation that I really wanted to see when I was a child. So yeah.
Okay, obviously, you had so many fun outfits.
Oh my god.
My favorite was the Circus Berserkers. I love that. How do you draw your inspiration in putting these outfits together?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's basically I touched on it a little beforehand as well, before the break. But when I was a child, I would never ever ever see myself on like TV or literature or anything. So instead, I would very much be drawn to like the weird sort of witchy characters and like the villains of like the Disney stories and the Paramithia, que όλα αυτά. And
Ursula and all of that.
yeah, and through drag, my inspiration comes just from that, because in a way, I saw myself as this other, and now I'm able to be that other, that powerful witchy woman. You know what I mean? So yeah, my inspiration comes from just women and female characters and powerful female figures.
And you know what? Let's be fair. Our female characters have been shunned away. They haven't
Yeah,
been in the forefront. So τώρα τις βγάζουμε μπροστά and we celebrate them even more.
of course. Yes, it's so beautiful to see.
So what's next for you?
Oh my gosh, there's so much. With the pandemic allowing, I'm planning some big like theater shows, like solo shows that I would like to tour around Canada and maybe the world, hopefully. Just a few more local shows around Canada. A lot of like merch, fun projects, photo shoots. There's so much happening, and I'm so excited. Yes.
Have you ever done a performance to a Greek song?
Wait. Wait. I think I performed once Augusto by Papazoglou, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was just like, and what was that?
You know what? That's your next challenge. I want to see on
Honestly,
Instagram a Greek cover to an outfit.
hey, maybe I should do this. Some Kalomira, some Elena Paparizou. I would love to. Oh my gosh.
Oh my, έχω ιδέα τώρα, σε βλέπω. I can see you. I can see you in the Paris song. That's it. It's done.
I would love that. I would love that. Yes, it's definitely in the works. Don't worry.
Λοιπόν, και πριν σε αφήσω να φύγεις, how long does it take you to put an outfit together? The average.
Yeah, so if usually I make my own costumes, and if I have to sew like a dress, let's say like a gown, it could take me about like 2 or 3 days. I'm pretty quick like that. I think just working in theater and film, it's such a fast-paced environment, so we've like learned how to produce things really quickly. So yeah, like I would say a whole look, like 2 or 3 days.
Oh my God, that's very interesting.
Yeah, it came very handy when I was on the show. Let's just say that.
Well, yeah, you have to do everything on your own.
Exactly. Yeah, it's terrifying.
Λοιπόν, Pythia μου, να σε ευχαριστήσω τόσο πολύ για την παρέα σου, αλλά και παραπάνω σε ευχαριστήσω for being who you are, for opening your heart and just being unapologetically you.
Thank you, my love. That means so much to me. Ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ. Thank you so much for having me as well.
Σε περιμένω Toronto in person for a show.
I would love to. Next time I'm there, I'll hit you up. We can go for a
Randevuzάκι.
coffee dinner. Yes. Oh my gosh.